Okay, let's see who's gonna join here. All right. Hey, how's it going? Emil, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Really honored to have you here. We're gonna wait a few minutes real quick so we get more people in the group here. By the way, we are doing a live Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask and we'll actually answer at the end here, okay? Let's go. Hey, thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it. Awesome. Thanks for joining my first show. By the way, we're doing a live Q&A. So make sure if you have any questions, feel free to comment. I'll save it till the end, okay? I'm just gonna wait a few more, see who else is showing up. Right. Hey, thank you. Thanks, Claude. I appreciate that. Thanks for joining my first show. What's going on, Alex? Thanks for joining, man. We're just gonna wait a few minutes, and then afterwards, feel free to ask all your Q&As. We're gonna actually answer all your questions at the end, okay? Brayden, that's a great question. We're gonna save that till the end, okay? We'll answer, I promise. And Noel, no, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. All right, guys. We're gonna start it right now. All right. So, first of all, I want everyone to stand up and give a warm welcome to my guest, Ariana Rubio. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Richard. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being my first guest to the show. I appreciate it. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm good. Just got off work and then kind of got prepared for this show. So I definitely happy we're here. So, but yeah, definitely what we'll do is let's get started. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Ariana.
Yeah, well, I'm Ariana. I am the Sales Enablement Manager at FastSpring, and I have been in sales my entire adult career. So right after high school, I thought it would be a great idea to start an insurance company. And I got my insurance licenses for property, casualty, and life insurance, and I started selling life insurance. Unfortunately, a 18-year-old does not have enough life experience to sell as much life insurance as I thought. So I did that for a little while, got into property management, did sales for a large property, worked at the local TV stations in Santa Barbara for ABC and Fox, and then decided to dip my toes into tech and started working into the tech industry. And ever since then, that's where I've been. So I've been an individual contributor as an account executive, a team lead. I managed a sales team and made the leap over to sales enablement about a year and a half ago.
What a killer resume. That's why I'm so happy to have you in my show, my first episode to be exact. So what's sales enablement? What's that? So why choose that?
Yeah, so the easiest way to think about sales enablement is I help the sales teams sell the product better. And how I do that is I help onboard any new hires. I work with the existing sales reps and the rest of the departments to make sure they're in the loop. So any marketing events or new campaigns that may be going on, I help educate the sales team so they're aware of what's coming up. When new products are released, I make sure that the team knows what features they can talk about. And really, my goal is to eliminate the barriers or to eliminate any obstacles that help the sales team sell more. And why I got into it, is that what you said?
Yeah.
I'm competitive. I love to win. I love to sell, but I actually get more pleasure when I work with other people and they win. So I love to be the cheerleader and just cheer on people as they close their first deal and keep elevating their sales and their skills. And it just gets me really excited to see people grow. So I get to do that and keep my sales hat on, think about what's going to make a difference for them, and then focus on how to elevate other people.
When did you find out that you wanted to become a sales enablement, in that role, compared to you being in sales in general?
I actually did not know anything about sales enablement until this position. So my previous sales manager said, "Hey, are you interested in a sales enablement role?" I said, "I don't know what that is." So I did some research and found out that I was already doing that as a sales leader. But instead of managing a team, managing quota, I was able just to focus on one thing, which is helping other people. And so I gave it a shot, and I'm really glad that I did.
Awesome. That's great. Well, you're pretty much doing the same thing, but in this show, you're essentially helping, other people that are watching get into the tech sales. If you guys didn't know, she was a huge part of my onboarding and even with my continued education with learning the product and also how to approach sales. So kudos to you. Thank you so much for helping me out here. So, the reason why people are tuning in is they want to get a tech sales position, right? So,
Mhm.
how would you say they should start a sales job search?
Okay, so one of my favorite words is passion. I
Okay.
love to talk about passion. And if you are looking to get into the tech industry, it is so broad. So take some time to figure out what really excites you. You can go in so many directions. And if you're looking to start a new career, why not have it be something that you're passionate about, that you're excited about? And so do some research. Once you find some companies that you think would be interesting to work for, look into what their values are. What do they believe in? What are some of their growth plans? And make sure those align with your personal goals as well as what your professional goals. So there's a lot of ways you can start, but I think the most important thing is that you're going to be as successful as you can be when you're happy and you love what you do. So that's always my first recommendation, is to take some time and think about your passion.
What's your thoughts on, I came from finance, right? And then hence why we're in fintech now. What are your thoughts of, you know, someone applying for a position or in an industry that they have prior experience to try to at least get into the tech space?
Oh, I mean, that's a great place to start. You already know the industry a little bit about how people are purchasing or what they're looking for. So it's always, you have a leg up on that industry. You can take any experience that you have and turn it into tech experience, really. So if you have fintech experience, look for other financial companies, financial software, any type of payment processing, and you already know some of the terminology you need
Mhm.
just to learn the product and how you sell it. You already know what those people are interested in, what their pains are. You've been hearing this for however long you've been at the previous
Right.
company. So just
Mhm.
layer onto it. It's a great place to start.
Awesome. So, what do you think of? I've been seeing so many job postings that show that the job position is in a remote position in, let's say I'm in California and that position in Florida. Should they still, reach out and apply for those positions? Because I've heard where you have to relocate because their headquarters at that location, or should they kind of stick where they're at so they have a higher chance of even get that job position? What are your thoughts on that?
As long as the position says remote, apply for it. You may want to move to Florida after you start with this
Right.
company,
Yeah.
but I think the more that you have experience interviewing and talking to people, about the tech industry in an interview environment, the more comfortable you're going to be and the chances that you're going to find that dream job that you want. So as long as the company can have somebody that's working in another state apply for the position. You can also think about some of the ways that you might be able to have advantage over other applicants that may be in that area, such as the time zone. So their Eastern time zone, if you're, on the West Coast, you can work a little bit later, and maybe part of their goals are to expand into the western part of the US or even into Australia or other parts of the world. You're going to be a different time zone, and it may be a big advantage for you.
So how would they, because, that's, I know like proactive outreach is a really good way to reach out to someone. What's a good way to phrase, hey, I could help out and expand to, this region by working this side? What's a good example of that?
Well, I'd first start with making sure you did your research and found out if they are trying to, and let them know that you found that. So I was looking at your website. I see one of your goals is to expand out west. I would love to contribute to the success of this. And these are the ways that I can contribute. I can work staggered time zone. I'll be able to work a little bit later than your reps that are on the East Coast, provide more coverage, answer leads quicker that come in the afternoon. Anything that you think would be advantageous for your position based off what you see. Leverage all of it. Anything that you find, think about a way that you could help them meet their goals.
So what is the best way to, kind of stand out then for applying for a specific job role?
Well, for a specific job role, it goes back to, of course, doing that research and using some of their words and some of the things that you have found out about their company. So whatever their values are, something that I like to align myself with. If I find out that they're really big into philanthropy and they like volunteer hours, I could leverage some of the volunteer experience that I have and say, I'm looking for a company where I can leverage my passion for volunteering and helping other people along with my colleagues. Or maybe if they are looking to expand to the West Coast, I'm looking for a position that I could leverage the time zone that I'm in and fill in the gap or be that missing piece that you're looking to expand globally or, increase your revenue during the evening hours.
Right. So what would you say? Because I always preach like, hey, proactive outreach is the best way. And there's so many methods. What's some good methods that, since you're in that position of the hiring side, what's some good methods, outreach methods that you could recommend the viewers here?
Obviously the basics. You can reach out on LinkedIn, you can reach out via email, but one I haven't gotten in a long time is a video. So you will see a video.
Okay.
As working as salespersons, we always try to think of ways to get into our prospects. You're prospecting into this company, so pull out all the resources. Record yourself. You can do it on your phone. If you have a special app, there are plenty of sales tools that are free out there to record a video. And say everything that you would say in an email. Say why you're interested. I'm going to be sending over my resume. I just applied for this position. I would love to speak to you. This is why. And it shows that you're a human. It allows them to connect with you, not just through a computer, not just through the paper or maybe your LinkedIn picture.
Right. So I know you said proactive outreach and being creative for that.
Yeah.
One thing I had a trouble with when I was looking for a job was them to even open up my actual, my message. So that could be through LinkedIn Messenger to email. What's typically for you, what's something where when you look at it, you're like, oh, okay, I got to open this. What's something that indicates you and
motion detected at front door.
One of the things that I have seen that has been interesting for me is using a subject line like, sorry, I missed you.
Okay.
And that could be your second follow-up, right? Sorry, I missed you. Like, not that they called you, but sorry, I missed you and I got your voicemail. Sorry, I missed you and we didn't connect for your email. When you have somebody that reads that, or when I read that, I'm like, oh my gosh, did I forget to do something? Or was I reaching out to somebody? And you can start it off with the subject line, sorry, I missed you. And then inside, hey, I really can't wait to connect with you. I'm sorry we have not been able to connect. This is why I'm reaching out to you. I made a short video for you. Please click on this link below or embed it if possible. Have your thumbnail be like a really happy, excited professional photo, something that matches whatever company that you're trying to be recruited into or trying to prospect into.
Right. So who would you say out of the outreach methods, which positions should they apply for? Because sometimes it's really hard to find, that those to even figure out who to reach out to. What's the best way to approach that?
I like to reach out to the sales reps actually.
Oh,
When I was looking for a position, I may reach out to the sales reps and say, hey, I'm really interested in applying for a position at your company, but I'd love to know your experience. And then get some information on what they like and what they dislike about the position, and think about if that's something that aligns with what your goals are. Once you do that, you can ask for a favor. Who would I talk to about this position? Do you know who the hiring manager is? Now, I do want to caveat, if you're working with a recruiter or you've already submitted and you know that you're supposed to be working with somebody, make sure you reach out to them first. You can let them know, say, I'm really interested in speaking to some of the sales reps that I may be working with and hearing about their experience. So don't go behind someone's back if you already have a contact. But if you don't have a contact, be creative. LinkedIn, Google, social media, find somebody that works there and ask for a favor.
so you would say recruiter, a sales rep in the team. How about like hiring managers, or I'm sorry, SDR managers, director of sales? Would you say those are like some of the best people? And what's another curveball person that people won't know, and myself included, that I wouldn't know, hey, I could have reached this person because this person's connected to the sales team. Would you say sales enablement or something like that?
Yes, I would. I'm not inviting a whole bunch of phone calls after this. However, yes, sales enablement. I'm connected with a lot of people. So if you're in sales, if you're looking to get in sales or marketing, CS, if they do have a sales enablement team, they're going to work with every department.
All right, good to good. So, let's say they get the actual first round interview. What are some indicating factors that can give you a higher chance of getting hired for the role?
Yeah, I think that the confidence is going to be the first one. Uh, Completely understandable that you're going to be nervous. Everybody gets nervous during an interview, but if you come in confident and curious, it's going to take you really far. So do not come in without a list of questions that you want to ask. Remember that when you're being interviewed, you're also interviewing somebody else, because
Right.
there are a lot of different companies that you can apply for. So be curious, be interested in learning what they're missing on their team. What are they looking for in this position that people on the team already are not doing? Or what are the qualities that they're looking for in this next person? So coming in with confidence and curiosity. Come in, ask questions, have fun, be interested, and be present. Be present.
So you're saying, to clarify, they should ask more questions where, um, what's going to happen in the future and how you should be a part of that future. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, why are you hiring for this position right now? That's a great
Hmm.
question. Are they expanding? Are they looking for a certain quality or a level of experience that somebody has not had? Is there some expertise or history that you've had in a position that you could bring to the table that no one else on the team currently does? Are they looking for somebody to work a certain number of hours or maybe a certain market?
Right.
And is that something you'd be interested in learning more about and being the local expert in?
So let's say, all is well. They're in the interview. What is the thought process on the hiring side when looking at applicant? So I know you said that confidence, but they're looking at the resume, they're hearing the answers. What's that side look like?
Yeah. So one of the things that I do when I get a resume is I'm spending maybe 10 seconds looking at it. And if I'm not finding that somebody has any like a catchy, I don't want to use the word headline because it's a little bit old school, but
Right.
what are some of the experience and some of the accolades that you have done? And if you're not boasting a little bit about your success in sales, you need to have confidence, and it shows there's a little bit of a
Yeah.
lack of confidence. Now, if I decide to keep reading, the next thing I'm going to do before even getting to the bottom is open up LinkedIn, and I'm going to check out your LinkedIn
Mm.
profile. So definitely make sure that you're updating your LinkedIn. One area I think that is highly overlooked is the recommendations. So you can ask for recommendations from previous people that you've worked with, clients, any volunteer clubs, schooling, whatever it may be. You can ask these people for recommendations on your work ethic or the project that you worked on. And having other people say their experience working with you is really, really powerful. So if you not have any of those after this, please ask a couple of people for LinkedIn recommendations and offer them the same. It definitely helps you stand out.
It's funny you said that. I didn't even think about that until, you mentioned it. Because you that's something definitely you overlooked because you're so thinking about optimize your profile, your work experience, but that makes sense because at the end of the day, you're trying to figure out, can I work with this person every day, right? If that, yeah, that's really that
Yeah.
you opened my eyes right there. Definitely.
As a sales leader, like I am confident that I can teach you the technique, I can teach you the product, I can teach you the sales methodology. But there's this thing we learned in leadership training about BAT, right? Your behavior, your attitude, and your technique. As a leader, we've got your technique. The behavior and attitude is up to you. So you can utilize that LinkedIn recommendation area to have other people talk about your behavior. What's their experience working with you? Tell me about the success that you've had working together, and it's a really powerful place to add up to your LinkedIn.
So I've been hearing so many different answers on this. How long is the interview process typically? I've heard, 5 rounds, 2 rounds. What's for you?
I mean, it's going to definitely depend on the size of the organization. I've had as few as 2 rounds. I've actually had as many as I believe 7 rounds. Typically, it's going to be with the hiring manager or the recruiter. Yep. Then we'll bring in the hiring manager, maybe another manager, maybe the director of sales. Then you go back and you do some role play. So it's going to depend on the organization size, but I'd plan on at least 3. A call with the recruiter, meeting with the hiring manager, and role playing to look at what would it look like if you were in this position and how much coaching are you going to need.
So, speaking of the recruiter, since you said the recruiter is their first point of contact, um, after they relay the message to the hiring manager, right? How long do you after that know that, hey, this person is a good applicant or not? What's the process time frame for that? Or how
How
soon do you
long?
know?
How soon would I know as a hiring manager?
Right.
I'm going to know within the first meeting if I want to meet again.
Oh, really?
Yes. So typically, whoever does the interview, the hiring manager or the recruiter has a HR software, and we put our notes in it. So instantly, we're going to answer
Mm.
some questions, and we're going to make the recommendation whether they're going to go on to the next step or not. That's usually done within 1 hour of an interview. So it's really quick. So you have that first impression, that first 30 minutes or 1 hour, and then it goes straight back to the recruiter. They're going to let them know pretty quickly.
All right, so a lot of my community I have, and they're wanting to get in sales, but what's one advice that you could give a person that has no sales experience but want to get into tech sales? How's that work?
Yeah. I would say do not let a job description define whether you apply for a position. So do not let a description on the job that says that you need a bachelor degree in a certain field, certain industry, and X number of years experience to hold you back from submitting your application. Personally, I started submitting my applications and resumes without a college degree and was able to climb up as far as I wanted. Not having 4 years experience in a certain industry is not going to stop me from exploring and seeing if that's something that I want to be in. So do your homework, make sure you know what's going on. Don't just apply blindly to places, but don't let any job description ever prevent you from applying for a position where you could see yourself soaring.
You guys hear that? Anything is definitely possible. She just proved my point. I always say that. Thank you for sharing that. Definitely do not, if you have no sales experience, remember you can always go for the entry level positions and you have the opportunity to get trained like any other job, right? Whenever you switch careers, they're going to teach you everything, all the basics, all the cadences. And the good thing is all the people that actually sign up for CourseCareers, they have all the information there of the whole cadence and how the whole SDR role works itself. So, but yeah, we are going to do a live Q&A real quick. So we do have two that this one's for me real quick. So this is from Braden. It says, "Hey Richard," and this is talking about the CourseCareers. "I have my final round interview tomorrow. Besides the mock pitch, what advice should I keep in mind to look for?" Just try to, whenever you're answering questions, you will get a lot of written and verbal answers when you do the actual interview. I recommend just kind of reassure, like what Ariana said, just make sure you're confident. But she'll be one of the best ones to actually answer that question. So he's on the final round. What would you say?
Final round of an interview?
Mm-hmm.
Boast a little bit. If you are not applying for a position and you are not a competitive person, that's actually a red flag for me. In sales, you have to be competitive. In sales, you have to be somewhat money driven. Otherwise, you are going to get eaten up. You have to have thick skin and want to fight. So if you don't have sales experience, tell us experience that you have been competitive and you've worked your way up, you've won something, you've earned something, and just make sure that you can highlight some of your top skills that could align with sales.
All right. So the next question we have, give us 1 second. This is how you know if it's live right here. Something came up. So give us one moment. All right. This is how you know it's live. Okay. So the next question we have is, this is for you, Ariana. For those who are brand new to SERs and tech sales, would you recommend joining a startup or a well-established company? Thank you,
Ooh.
Alex.
What are your goals? If you want the opportunity to get in when the company is hot and you're okay taking that risk, go for a startup. It's really fun. It's really exciting. You get a chance to make a difference and have an impact. You have a chance to share opinions and help really form what the company is going to look like. I worked for a well-established company. Everything is pretty much set, which is great sometimes because there's already a process. But if you want to be able to be creative and make a difference, go for the startup. It's really fun.
Okay. So it looks like we only have one more question. All right. So it's from Uday. What's the most off-putting thing for a sales leader in any potential candidate?
I would say someone who does not listen. So an example could be you would ask me why we're hiring for this position, and I say that we had somebody in this position. Unfortunately, it did not work out because now we're going to be selling widgets instead of water bottles, whatever it may be, and you say, oh, that's great, and you just go on to the next question, you are not listening and you're not showing that you're going to listen to a prospect. So my recommendation is anytime someone asks you a question, take a second, pause, think about what the question is and what your answer is so you can come in and be confident about it. So make sure that your responses match what the recruiter or what the interview is saying, and just be patient. You do not have to fill the air. Be okay with silence.
All right, so we got another question. It is from Ben Drum. How deeply do I need to research the company I'm interviewing with?
I think that you should go Google stalking. You should get in there, go deep, learn about some of the people, learn about where they came from. One of the things that you're going to do if you make it past that first interview is a role play. So the hiring manager is not going to expect that you know about their product, all the ins and outs. But if you come in prepared to an interview or to a role play with some product information or company knowledge, you are going to stand out. So also a fun thing too that I've had done in interviews and role plays is when they use my name or another team member's name in that role play. So they may say, I was speaking with Richard, and it shows that you have done some research and that you're doing, that you're willing to dig in, because that's what we want in this role. We want to make sure somebody is dedicated and is going to put in the footwork. So act as if you've already gotten the position and come in with as much information as you can then.
All right, so we got another question from Uday. How to deal with a situation when the sales recruiter / hiring manager doesn't respond to any communication. Ooh, that's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I've had that happen, and sometimes it is situational, so don't take it too personally yet, Uday. It could be something else going on, but do something different that you have not done. So if you've emailed, try calling. If you've called, send a video. Something that people don't do often, and you might not even be too familiar with doing it anymore, is you can actually send them a letter or a postcard. I've got things in the mail, and I'm like, what is this? But a thank you. Follow up, right? Be creative. Again, I'm going to go back to act as if you already have the position. So do what you would do to reach your prospects, which is to almost go to any length to get a hold of them. Okay. Now, Uday, if it's been a long time, if it's been more than 2, maybe even 3 weeks, unless something's going on, you might want to send them a breakup letter and say you really appreciated this opportunity. I'm getting the impression that we might not be continuing this conversation. If I'm wrong, please let me know. Otherwise, I appreciate the time that you've taken to meet with me. I've learned XYZ about your company. If things change, please reach out to me.
That's really good. I didn't even think of that. I would just stop. I would stop trying typically after some kind of stretch right there. Okay, so we got another question. Tuong, I didn't ask that same question due to since Uday asked that same question as you. So just heads up on that. But the next one is from Jonathan. This one's a tough one. Does having a felony or being disabled hurt your chances?
I think there might be some places where having a felony may hurt your chances, depending on what you're selling. If it is financial, there might be some obligations that the company may not be able to hire somebody with a record. However, you'll have to do your research on any specific company. Any disability, no, that's against the law. You cannot be discriminated against for that. So personally, I've had interviews and I've worked with many different types of people. And that's something that I've never, let that stand in the way of continuing an interview process or with a hiring process.
I gotcha. All right, so the next one is from Alex again. Do you believe in the value of applying as an intern over a full-time SDR role?
I can see the value in certain circumstances. However, Alexander, be bold and go for the position. So if it's something that's a completely crazy industry that you'd have to learn a lot about, you might want to start off as an intern to take the time. If you're already serious enough, you're sitting here on a Monday evening joining this event right now, you can learn just as much. Take the time to learn and go for the position. Sell yourself, do all the things that you know that you would do in a sales role, and go for it. I'll tell you, I did not go for an intern position. I went straight for it, and I fought until I got what I was looking for, and I've worked hard to continue to elevate the position that I wanted to achieve. So I believe in you, Alexander. Go for the SDR role.
Woo! There you go. Okay, so we're gonna end it in a few more minutes, but I'll be able to have her answer a few more questions. Okay, so the next one is from Emmanuel. When sending a video through email, so kind of based off of the other answer you gave,
Yep.
what else would you include in the email?
Very short, sweet. So you want to make them click on the video, right? So, hey, Emmanuel, I was thinking about our conversation last week, and instead of typing it out, I recorded a video for you.
As simple as possible, like that, huh?
Simple and sweet. Get them curious. Make them click on the video. It's like leaving a voicemail. You don't show all of your cards in a voicemail. You don't want to spill everything. You want somebody to call you back. You want somebody to watch your video and to see what you're going to be saying in your message.
I've seen videos where they have the thumbnail is the person's face, right? The one they're reaching out.
Yeah.
Would that help out with, getting the what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a little creepy to be fair. If someone sent me an email with my own face,
Fair
I
enough.
might be a little creeped out. I'd rather
Right.
see your face. And I do not encourage you guys to lie. Like when I said about the, sorry, we haven't connected, or sorry, I couldn't reach you. I don't want you to lie, and I want you to be as open and you as possible. So don't send me my face, please.
All right. So the next one's from Braden. Again, is it off-putting when candidates ask for a sign-on bonus? Ooh.
Everything is about timing. So if you are asking about compensation and a sign-on bonus, or if you're looking at that startup and you're asking for stock options on the first interview, yeah, that's off. That's a little off-putting. But what I think is not is having somebody sell themselves in the value that they bring, that they're going to bring to that company, and negotiating. Because sales is about negotiating. So if you come in with those skills and the first thing that you're selling me is you may not get exactly what you want, but I'm definitely going to listen, and I'm going to work with you to find something that works for both of us.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so this one's from Uday's asking all these questions here, so I
love it.
All right, personally, I've been sales prospecting for a job from 3 to 5 months with almost little success. As per your experience, what's important, knowledge or industry experience?
Now, when you say knowledge, what I'm thinking you're meaning is going to be knowledge about the product or the company that you're applying to versus the industry that the company is part of. And I think that I wouldn't say industry experience, but I would say experience in general. So what I think that you could do if you're not having any success in 3 to 5 months, are you applying to the same type of industry over and over again? That is looking for somebody that has more experience or more knowledge in it. You might want to expand who you're reaching out to. I think that it's a little hard to know until I get some more information from you. But I would just say that your life experience, if you position it right, can be applied to any position, no matter what jobs that you've had, what school you've had. I mean, come on, we've all sold something in our life, right? Whether it's the product or the industry, you can do it. So, yeah.
Right. Okay. So we're going to answer 3 more questions.
Okay.
So the next one is from Dominic Saley. Great content. Shout out, Dominic. I appreciate that. As a hiring manager, does one experience have more of an influence on being hired or their education level?
Well, I kind of mentioned this previously, but for me, it is going to be their experience. Majority of people do not use the degree that they get for their career. And so what I want to see is your life experience. What are you going to take from that and bring into this position? I have been able to meet with a lot of people who do not have a college degree and have been able to climb the ladder to their dream job and keep getting promoted and promoted based off of their experience and also their desire to grow. So, again, please don't let your education level ever stop you from applying to a position or thinking that your degree is going to be the thing that gets you in a position. In sales, it just isn't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? I agree
It
on
really,
that.
no.
All right, so this is the last question here. Um, I'm sorry, I got two more questions. How does having your own business and wanting to work for another company work?
Jonathan, I'm not sure I understand completely, but I do want to say if you are employed by somebody, just make sure that when you start another business or you're wanting to work with someone, it's not necessarily in the same industry for a non compete. When you're in a sales position, sometimes there'll be a non compete that you sign when you're hired to make sure that you are not going to be taking any business away from the company that you are employed by. So if you are not in that circumstance, you have your own business that is completely separate, just balance out your life. Just make sure that your employer, you're committing to what you said you will do. You are being as successful as you can. And then if your business, your own business, is your passion and what you want to do for the rest of your life, make sure you spend enough time to make yourself feel fulfilled, but don't overwork yourself. Make sure you have time for fun too. Two jobs is difficult.
Right. Okay, so this one is the last question. So this kind of piggybacks to his original question. So this goes back to that video message. So what if it's towards the sales manager or hiring manager instead of the recruiter? Is this
To the recruit, I'm not going to say that there's anything too different except for sell yourself harder. A recruiting manager is typically also interviewing different positions that are maybe more on the engineering side or marketing side. And when you're talking about to a sales manager or director, just sell yourself. So you could say, "Hey Richard, it's Ariana. I'm so glad we had the chance to meet. I want to make sure I follow up and tell you three things that you may not have known about why I'm going to be a great fit for your company." So talk about the value that you bring to the team, because when you're selling, we don't pitch features, we pitch the value. So talk about the value that you're going to bring to the team and pretend like you're your own product. You're selling yourself. So keep that in the forefront.
okay? So thank you so much for joining on my first episode. I'm super honored. Hopefully, by the way, whoever's watching, you guys got a lot of answers. That's why I had to bring her. She's the expert, right? She's the go-to. I do want to say, if you do need help breaking the tech, definitely book a session with me. But you can also book a session with Ariana. Just tell us what's in your sessions here.
Yeah, so I think that what I love about working with other people is, again, I love to help people find their passions and I like to have people win. So I get excited when you win. So whether you are not sure which direction you want to go to get into the tech industry, we could talk about some of your experience, your strengths, and find a niche to get into. Or maybe you have a position that you are trying to excel and get promoted, sell more. I work with people to coach them to take it to the next level. So where I get excited again is to really get people into that next position and take their career just farther than they ever could be. So I love to help people win, and if you are looking for that type of coaching, I'd love to spend time with you.
All right. You guys heard her. So you can book a session with her. I will update the description with her schedule. And then also, if not, go to her page. She's already on my description on the post, and you can look her up, Ariana Rubio, and you can book a session with her there. But I do want to say thank you, everyone, for watching. It's truly an honor to have you on the show and have everyone else be watching here. But thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Richard, for having me. And thanks, everybody, for joining. Hopefully, we'll speak to you soon.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.